2024. My friends, it is now my honor and privilege to welcome on stage, and at the cost of repetition, I would like to say that please join me as we celebrate a remarkable individual who is present here with us today, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir, on receiving the prestige.
A boy from the village of Muramba in Vidarbha, who initially studied in Marathi medium, would grow up to be the father of Indian supercomputing? Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, a man whose ingenuity and passion but also nurtures its and humanistic pursuits as a mentor of Vijnana Bharati. His vision continues to inspire. His leadership paves the way for future innovations. His legacy grows stronger with each passing day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our distinguished guest, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar.
Please put your hands together, my friends, and welcome with a huge round of applause, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir.
My great teachers, led by Professor Vishwanath Karad, Dr. Mashelkar, as you said,
बदलला 2 मिनिटं थांबा. Check.
First, I also, on behalf of all of us who are participating in this groundbreaking conference, roundtable conference, on behalf of all of you, we acknowledge the contributions of teachers in our life. At every step, the learning never stops. This vast journey into the ocean of knowledge, in the horizons of the new knowledge that is pouring in, we continuously advance and update ourselves through such conferences. I have attended so many conferences. And we were reflecting on the various conferences that we participated. Dr. Mashelkar, of course, I also participated. Many of you participated in many conferences. But I had one view and one vision that as India is emerging with new education policy, several new universities are being created and continuously created. India, of course, will become the great educational hub of the world, And several occasions, Dr. Mashelkar, myself, we have talked on the time will come when I'm not referring to West or East, all the countries of the world, all the nations of the world will converge towards India. Here there will be no distinction between private and public university. This conference makes a new ground. I think Dr. Yadav will agree with me, Dr. Mashelkar will agree with me. It sets a new ground now. We must dissolve the barriers between private and public universities. I said that Rahul wanted to create a separate platform. For that purpose, that private universities must get their due, must be recognized. This conference sets a new ground law that this is possible. Whatever the support, the initiatives will also come from private universities. I belong to my own entire career has gone with public labs and public universities. But I was dreaming of a where several private universities that are emerging at fast, and they are very good universities. They are good universities which are emerging. And there is no supports, R&D support, conference support from the public sector. New policy, of course, wants to break that barrier, at least welcome all of them on competitive basis, all of us on a competitive basis, and best projects will survive or must be promoted. I would not say survive. I think small state universities, also the emerging new Gurukuls and the old Gurukuls must all cooperate together as one platform to bring out the best in us. This conference really makes new ground on this platform. And this our conference, as we have experienced, one after another, the 8 sessions, 3 days, the conference took place. and we all enjoyed it. Although I can't contribute, except for composing the programs, I contributed, but I had a great hope. And time and time again, I came in and talked to the organizers. Rahul, I must congratulate all the organizers, so taken all. I will not take all the names. Such a wonderful conference has taken beyond our dreams, beyond your dreams, beyond Professor Karad's dream, and this conference really has set now new horizon, new ground for further such conferences in India, all over the world also. I am happy about that. This conference and another round. After the conference, after yesterday's Punya Bhushan Puraskar, which was done extremely well organized, and as per the protocols, we sat down for after award dinner, and we had private talk with Dr. Mashelkar and Ms. Narayan Murthy, Padma Vibhushan, both. And we are reflecting on ourselves. Self-criticism. We must look inward. What's wrong with us? Of course, Dr. Mashelkar himself is a dangerous, optimistic. I am also optimistic, I'm not saying dangerous, but and we're reflecting. There are so many things which we can correct. One of the things is that this conference, that we were long time kept away many of the private initiatives from this march. This conference, I'm extremely happy about the way we have collaborated. Really, this sets that new ground on which we now can leap forward or pole vault further, as Dr. Mashelkar likes to call. Imagine that if the collaboration we can taking forward now. I have no doubt that we will now take this march ahead and collaborate with, of course, all our universities, all the world universities, and organize future, I think, the source of knowledge which springs from such conferences. Many people are critical about what happens after the conference, etc. The issue is not that we all converge together. We all discuss similar issues. We discuss new problems and new challenges before us. And I must say that as we are pouring out our frustrations, I think we are ourselves, I am myself in charge of so many things. I have my frustrations. Yet, things went on and on. Today, as I said yesterday, we are moving from the giga scale, I'm talking of supercomputers, and this is happening every field, to giga scale, to petascale, and very soon, on the exascale supercomputers. I'm just giving a scale. In a very short time, we have moved to the world platform, setting new goals. Not only that, we are collaborating with the international leaders, and this is happening in every field now. So I'm not without hope. I have many hopes for this great nation, and how, I think, we have talked about economies, we have talked about 1,500 universities, so many colleges, so many schools emerging, and so many ISRs, so many IITs, so many ISRs emerging. I am seeing in front of my own eyes how India's, our great Bharat is transforming itself to. This conference is another model of that kind of thing, where I think Rahul talked about, and now this conference, with the help of his founder, my great friend, and Rahul Karad, is coming together. And many people have worked day and night to make this happen. And we are very satisfied at least I am very satisfied with the outcome which has come. So many of you are yesterday, I think now, contributed to make that happen, converge to the great place and really set a new goal for collaboration and working together and setting new goals for future. So, so many things are there. We have poured out our frustrations yesterday, but we are not deterred by those frustrations. We have so many hopes. India is a big, great country with great challenges. I have gone through from a small village to the IITs and to the world universities only in this country. So many opportunities before us. So my only message is that I think never get deterred by the frustrations you will encounter with bureaucracies. Bureaucracies, in spite of this, or whatever the challenges may be, we can achieve some great goals, and we have set those goals, and India will set those goals. Also collaborate with other, I think, similar frustrations of other people, and come out with a great hope and set new goals as we have set now. That we are one of the great, not we have been one of the great sources of knowledge. We began the first universities of the world. We have universities like Nalanda, and then series of such universities. And today we stand when we can set the new goal for the world, which is a world of great cooperation and collaboration and working together. I'm very happy about the outcomes which are coming out of this conference round. And I'm very thankful to Professor Karad for support, I think, pouring the support for this conference, not only conference, this collaboration. And you are seeing the results of what actually happening. Let this happen. And I wish to express my thankfulness to everyone who is here, who contributed to this GAI's first roundtable conference. And let us celebrate this new platform of collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your guidance and your words of wisdom. It has always been a pleasure to receive your guidance for every initiative that university takes. So you talked about the lack of support in our country. You talked about the way we need more support for the scientific advancement. But I'm really happy to share with you, because you probably missed in the beginning, under the able leadership of Sri Rahul V. Karad sir, and under the guidance of revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, I'm really happy to share with you, sir, this conference has witnessed the presence of 132 scientists, 9 Padma awardees, 13 Bhatnagar awardees, 14 INSA awardees, and the representation from United States, United Kingdoms, Italy, Sweden, France, and Turkey. The research labs like IIT, IISc, BARC, CSIR, DSIR, and the private research labs of Tata, Reliance, Crompton Greaves, Adani, Siemens, and many more. So I'm really happy to share with you, sir. Let's give a round of applause to the able leadership of Sri Rahul V. Karad sir and revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir for their support. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My friends, now it's time when I'm going to invite the chief guest of today's session to address the gathering, the former advisor and scientist, G Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, DSIR, Ministry of Science and Technology, New Delhi, Honorable Dr. Sujata Chaklanobis ji. But before I invite her to address the gathering, I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a small film.
Honorable Dr. Sujata Chaklanobis, Head of CRTDH, PACE and A2K Plus schemes, and in charge of Central Electronics Limited and Consultancy Development Center, at the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, Ministry of Science and Technology, New Delhi. As a leader at the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, she has played a pivotal role in nurturing innovation and fostering collaboration. Her stewardship of initiatives like CRTDH, PACE and A2K Plus schemes have catalyzed advancements across diverse fields, driving progress and facilitating the development of cutting-edge technologies. At Central Electronics Limited and Consultancy Development Center, Dr. Chaklanobis has been instrumental in steering critical projects that have had a profound impact on the electronics and consultancy sectors. Her dedication has not only propelled scientific and industrial advancements, but have also inspired countless professionals in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our distinguished guest of honor, Dr. Sujata Chaklanobis.
Please put your hands together, my friends, and welcome with a round of applause, Honorable Dr. Sujata Chaklanobis ji.
Honorable dignitaries on the stage and off the stage, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I would like to thank MIT-WPU and the organizers of NSRTC for inviting me to such an important event. I am humbled to share the dais with such great stalwarts. I still remember the day when I joined the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir was the secretary at that point of time, and he chaired the first FCS promotional meeting which held. I'm, sir, humbled to share the dais with you. It's a great honor for me. The Honorable Prime Minister of India shared the vision for Amrit Kal and India at 2047 in his Independence Day speech of 2021, which envisions to make India Viksit Bharat, that is a developed nation by 2047. Viksit Bharat 2047 is the vision to transform India into a developed nation by 2047, the 100th year of independence. This vision encompasses various facets of development, such as economic growth, environmental sustainability, social progress, and good governance. The vision emphasizes in achieving 30 trillion USD economy with a per capita income of 18,000 to 20,000 USD, with strong public finances and a robust financial sector, with building world-class infrastructure and facilities in both rural and urban areas. The vision of Viksit Bharat is that of a prosperous Bharat, in harmony with modern infrastructure and nature, and giving opportunities for all citizens of all regions to reach their greatest potential. Viksit Bharat should have a resilient and strong economy that can provide opportunities and a high standard of living for all its citizens. The economy should be able to cope with the challenges of the 21st century based on entrepreneurship, innovation, and competitiveness. Viksit Bharat should have a clean and green environment to preserve India's biodiversity and natural resources. The environment should be able to mitigate the impacts of climate change based on restoration, conservation, and resilience. A Viksit Bharat should have an inclusive and harmonious society that ensures the dignity and well-being of all its citizens. So society should be able to celebrate and respect India's cultural heritage based on justice, equality, and diversity. Country's demographic dividend, prospering middle class, expanding digital economy, and sustainability-focused economy are going to act as pillars of strength in successfully attaining our vision for 2047. In line with the above-mentioned futuristic and inclusive vision, the focus is on women's development, health, education, skill development, science and technological advancement, infrastructure creation, employment, agriculture, increasing manufacture, industrial production, innovation, boosting indigenous industry, etc. Keeping in mind the impact of climate change, special focus is on green growth. The government is committed to increasing its non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatts by 2030, meeting 50% of its energy requirements from renewable energy by the year 2030, reducing the total projected carbon emission by 1 billion tons by 2030, reducing the carbon intensity of its economy by less than 45%, and achieving the target of net zero by 2070. The government is already implementing various programs for green fuel, green energy, green farming, green mobility, green buildings, green equipment, and policies for efficient use of energy across various economic sectors. The government is also focusing on critical and emerging technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, etc. All of these is only possible through science and technology. Science and technology have always been an integral part of Indian culture. Science, technology, and innovation will drive the unprecedented growth and progress required for Viksit Bharat. Scientific research can only lead to breakthroughs in fields such as healthcare, renewable energy, and environmental sustainability, contributing to an improved quality of life for the citizens of India. Embracing cutting-edge technologies and fostering innovation will enhance productivity across industries, creating new avenues for employment and entrepreneurship. By prioritizing science, technology, and innovation, we can have a Viksit Bharat in future characterized by resilience, competitiveness, and sustainable development, positioning India as a global leader in the knowledge economy by 2047. It is worth stating here that more than 43 million students are currently enrolled in over 1,500 universities and 50,000 plus colleges in India. The government-funded universities constitute about 58.6% of the total universities in India and contributes to about 74% of total enrollment, while the private universities account for 26%. The government is committed for investment in science education and for scaling up the quality and quantum of scientific research in government-funded universities, which is required in coming years to empower the talented youth of India. It is highly encouraging to see that there has been a significant growth in the new IITs. The number has risen from 7 in 2014 to 23 in 2024. This is a clear indication of the government's commitment to spend on world-class technical education and scientific research, for which the IITs have a proven track record. Similarly, the number of AIMS has risen from 7 in 2013 to 23 AIMS in 2024 for medical education and research, which is a phenomenal growth in public sector during the last 10 years. World-class medical education and research at AIMS shall continue to empower India in the field of medical sciences. We have to find ways to reposition ourselves in the area of science and technology to make the fulcrum of the development of the country. India's goal of becoming a developed nation can only be possible when it becomes a global leader in science and technology. Investing in research and development of renewable energy sources, energy efficiency solutions, and sustainable materials can create new industries and new green jobs while reducing environmental impact. New enterprises based on green energy research in areas like solar energy harvesting, green hydrogen, and low wind speed turbine-based wind energy farms is desirable. Path-breaking research enabling a solar plant to operate at 98% efficiency as against 16 to 18% at present is a big challenge for the scientists. Similarly, producing liquid hydrogen at room temperature is also a future challenge for our scientists. It is now the appropriate time for the scientists to engage in such challenging and future areas of science and technology. We cannot afford to miss the opportunity and have to take a resolve for Viksit Bharat at 2047. Transitioning to a circular economy where materials are reused and recycled and minimizes waste and resource depletion, fostering long-term economic stability is another area which needs attention. However, major breakthroughs in design and development of new, smart, and intelligent materials, new age systems of design and manufacturing are needed that will make business sense for the circular economy. Many countries in Europe have successfully grown their economies on green highways of growth by reducing emissions through policies, incentives, and innovation. California's Cap and Trade program has shown how environmental regulations can incentivize clean technologies and economic growth. European Union has decided to ban production of petrol and diesel cars from 2035. Singapore had demonstrated great capabilities of wastewater treatment. We also have some very good examples of wastewater treatment plants at Kanpur and Varanasi under the Namami Gange project, which have demonstrated great capabilities of water technologies for cleaning our rivers and water bodies. These success stories need to be replicated nationwide. During the NSRTC 2024 conference, we have deliberated on various important topics. It is very important to have such conferences to deliberate on very relevant topics for achieving the goals of Viksit Bharat at 2047. I congratulate MIT-WPU for having the vision for holding this important conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for that beautiful address. And I would like to say that indeed it was a true reflection of a scientist that you put in front of us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And now, in order to share our initiatives, our vision of NSRTC, I would like to invite on stage the Dean of Research and Development at MIT-WPU University, Pune, Professor Dr. Murthy Chavli sir, to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you. To the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and my fellow faculty and students, it is indeed a great pleasure for me to give all the updates on R&D at MIT-WPU. In line with our university vision and mission, and our aim to have this university to be a research-based university from a teaching university. And all this has been done over a period of time, and I would like to share some of the important initiatives that have been taken by our management and in support to the faculty, along with two other initiatives like Science and Spirituality, Life Transformation, and to become a research-based university from a teaching-based universities. Indeed, I'm happy to share we have a central research facility which is coming up with the support from MIT-WPU with 25 crores on campus, and partially it has been established with RF and DC sputtering facility along with FESM facility and other environmental based and bio-based, bioengineering-based facility which is going to come up. This is only an initial part, and we are going to have such facilities in the coming months to come. And with this particular development, we also recently got, happy to share that we received the DSIR certificate to do more research and submit more projects to our Government of India and other funding agencies. At present, with the existing centers of excellence and the newly developed ones, along with the central research facility which is coming up, we have altogether 23 different centers of excellence existing on campus at present, with the recent Center of Excellence of Sustainability, Environment, Climate Change, and Center for Women Studies and Development. And with all the facilities and support given by the management over a period of 8 months, we were able to achieve The publications rose to 25% over the last year, and research projects that were submitted tuned to 150 plus crores. At least if you get 50% of that, we'll be able to sustain over a period of 10 years with the support of all the facilities that we have and the amount of funding that we are going to receive from different funding agencies for the submitted projects in the advanced tech areas and niche areas. And all this was possible because of the faculty's support and also the guidance from our management, Rahul Karad sir, and CEO Dr. Sanjay Kamtekar sir, and Bhatkar sir. And in addition to this, management has extended their support to have rich initiatives for those who publish and make this university to the next level. Incentives for all the publications and participation of the faculty in different conferences abroad and within India, and also the seed grants, which will be almost given to each and every faculty if the proposal is good enough. And at the same time, our patents rose to 26% over the last year, and consultancy with all the facility and the support and industry support, we have extended this by 300% over a period of 1 year. And this is all because of you and the support given by the management. And last but not the least, this first NSRTC is also one of its kind to create an able platform for interaction with top 100 scientists in India by the faculty and students, so that you'll be able to interact and come up with new initiatives, new ideas, and go with new innovative research at MIT-WPU. Probably this is one of its kind to make this a research-based university. And also I hope this will stand out as one of the top private universities in India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for underlining once again the initiatives and support that MIT World Peace University is extending to enhance its research. My friends, now it's time when I'm going to invite the chief patron and the president of the valedictory function, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, sir. Okay. My friends, Bhatkar sir talked about the support and guidance that we need in this country for research. In response, I shared a few numbers showing the success of the conference. My friends, every individual always strives to do his part in this world, but a few go an extra mile. We are absolutely privileged to have a guru like revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir. My friends, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, at such a young age, took a voyage to take the message of world peace to the entire world. Just a few days back from now, he traveled all the way to United Kingdoms and then to United States of America to spread the message of peace, the message of spirituality, and the message that union of science and spirituality can bring the peace and harmony to mankind. And his efforts were recognized by one of the top universities in this world. I would like to take this moment to share a small film with all of you which would reflect all of us on it. I request my technical team to kindly relay.
विश्वधर्मी विश्वनाथ की संकल्प यात्रा महाराष्ट्र के एक छोटे से गांव रामेश्वर रुई से चली एक विस्मयचकित करने वाली संकल्प यात्रा न जाने कितनी बुलंदियों को छूती हुई आलंदी, बनारस तथा भारत की उत्तरी सीमा पर बसे माणा गांव से होकर सप्त सागर पार इंग्लैंड और अमेरिका तक पहुंच गई है। इंग्लैंड के विश्व प्रसिद्ध ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में आयोजित किए गए एक दिवसीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिषद ने भारत और इंग्लैंड के समविचारी विद्वान, वैज्ञानिक, दार्शनिक, शिक्षाविदों को मूल्याधिष्ठित वैश्विक शिक्षा पद्धति का अवलंबन करने की डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड सर की संकल्पना को मूर्त रूप में लाने के लिए प्रेरित किया है। अमेरिका स्थित शिकागो में 130 वर्ष पहले स्वामी विवेकानंद ने अपने प्रेरणादायी शब्द जिस स्थान से उच्चारित किए थे, उसी ऐतिहासिक फुलरटन हॉल के मंच से प्राध्यापक कराड सर ने उपस्थितों को संबोधित कर विज्ञान और अध्यात्म के समन्वय की स्वामी जी द्वारा की गई पहल का स्मरण करवाया। अपने जीवन काल में प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड सर द्वारा शिक्षा, विश्व शांति तथा मानव कल्याण के लिए तन मन धन समर्पित करके कार्य किया गया है। उनके इस निस्सीम सेवा भाव से प्रभावित होकर अमेरिका के उटाह राज्य स्थित ब्रिघम यंग यूनिवर्सिटी द्वारा डॉक्टर ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड यूनिवर्सल लीडरशिप इस विशेष मानद डॉक्टर पदवी से उन्हें सम्मानित किया गया।
Brigham Young University periodically confers degrees on men and women whose service to the world, country, and education is of such significance as to warrant the distinction of an honorary degree. This is
सराहना तो विश्व के किसी भी प्रदेश में होती ही है।
The Tabernacle Choir and Orchestra at Temple Square present Music and the Spoken Word. The world is a fascinating place filled with fascinating people. Every time we visit a new place or meet a new person, the world opens a bit wider for us. Every new perspective, every new insight from a new friend has the potential to enrich our lives and unify the human family just a little more. One fascinating person from a fascinating place is Professor Vishwanath Karad from Pune, India. He's in the United States to receive an honorary doctorate from Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. A remarkable man, Dr. Karad loves the natural world and the people in it. He sees beauty in both diversity and unity, in both science and spirituality. Among his many accomplishments, he is the founder of the Maharashtra Institute of Technology, World Peace University in Pune. Dr. Karad believes that education has the power to improve every life. He sees no conflict between science and spirituality, as together they lead us to God. As we learn more about both, our perspective, our lives, and the whole world can change for the better. The lifelong education of the mind and spirit can help each one of us build a more peaceful world. It was Dr. Karad's vision and deep desire for peace and interfaith cooperation that led to the creation of the World Peace Dome, which is prominently featured at World Peace University. Within and surrounding this impressive structure are over 50 statues of leaders of religion, philosophy, and science from many cultures and traditions. The World Peace Dome is a place of interfaith understanding and dialogue, of peace and harmony. It's a place to contemplate peace and love for all people. It is a monument to the Sanskrit philosophy Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. Maybe that's part of the secret to achieving world peace. It begins simply as we get to know each other, as we learn about one another, and as we truly see all people in this wonderful world, not just as friends and neighbors, but as God's children, our brothers and sisters, members of one family.
Please put your hands together, my friends, for this 84 years young proponent of world peace, science and spirituality. Please put your hands together for UNESCO chair holder, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karad, sir.
All my learned friends sitting on the dais, great scholars, thinkers, philosophers, men of science, men of spirituality, and amongst whom, sitting at the center, is a great noble son of India, Dr. Mashelkar, sir, most esteemed scientist and a great human being. Friends, you just heard some small honor which was given to not to me. It was for the cause. When I had the fortune of writing this article, philosophers and Jnaneshwara to philosopher Dr. Albert Einstein. It's a long story. But you must know, friends, that I had not gone to receive my PhD, but possibly the very principle, very cause, भारतीय संस्कृति, परंपरा, तत्व ज्ञान का एक छोटा सा दर्शन समझने का प्रयास हुआ और शायद ये सौभाग्य हुआ. But you must know that Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar has 48 PhDs conferred on him. Please give him a big hand. And possibly it is learned that he is going to receive one more in the next week. It's not to praise him, friends. It is very rare in our lifetime. I'm a believer of this very sentence which has been uttered in the name of San Jnaneshwar to Einstein. When Dr. Albert Einstein says, "Oh my friends, I believe in God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of the universe. And it's nothing but a manifestation of pure intelligence and consciousness." And these two words gave me a strength. Being an engineer, being a man from a Vaishnavite family,
I could understand the essence and philosophy behind. And the most esteemed guest and my brother, Dr. Bhatkar, yesterday when he was received this Punya Bhushan, is a very small thing for him to my mind. A very unique personality of India. There are so many qualifications, the Fellow of Royal Society. You are the first chairman of India of the Fellow of Royal Society of London. And you know that in the list there is 400 names and the first name is of Isaac Newton. And unless somebody passes away, there is no addition. What a good luck for us that when Ravi Chitnis, Milind Patre, Pandey, Yadav sir, and many others have done this unique program in the quest of making India something very unique in the country and the world, and looking for the year 1947 to 2047. This long journey we have been trying to think. Yet I can see that many great scientists and scholars sitting in the audience. What is our duty is the main question. And I, for one, before I forget, I feel not only delighted, I have a tremendous feeling of happiness, satisfaction, but a sense of duty too. I feel little enriched and also enlightened. After receiving some of the lectures from this audience, I could not attain all the sessions, but yesterday and today, whatever fortune I had, I am really happy that we are on the right path. The entire world, as I said to you the day before, the world is waiting and looking to India with a hope and expectation that on the background of the chaos, confusion, bloodshed, massacre, terrorism and violence going world over, the worst of the worst stockpiling which is going on with the biological weapons, chemical weapons, atomic weapons, and this very coronavirus, the COVID-19 which came out a few years back, is an indication that we have to think certainly because of the, let me tell you, the word is very typical, but the entire world, including all the prime ministers, the presidents, all the heads of states, nation states, they were behind the doors, including myself, every one of us. And you know that virus, I don't know what is the nature, but the people say, and the great men of science, they have been saying that it had only a 20% strength. If it comes out with 30 to 40% strength, what will happen to the whole human race? I don't have an answer, but India possibly can show the pathway, promoting the culture of peace and trying to promote this culture of peace through the appropriate understanding of the role of science and spirituality. Spirituality, it has been said in that small film that we had the fortune. We are not the makers, we are not the doers, but we are just like instruments. गर्व नहीं होना चाहिए भाई. बड़ी आनंद के साथ कहूँगा कि all my young students who are here, they are very intelligent, capable students, trying to look at you as the role models, sitting on the dais, and possibly, as was said by the great noble son of India, Swami Vivekananda, 11 September 1893. थोड़ा सोच लो कैसे दिन होंगे. स्वामी विवेकानंद भी की छोटी फिल्म में दिखाया. I had the fortune just 2 months back to go and touch that soil. वो सिंदूर जैसे लगाकर, I had that fortune of talking about 10-15 minutes in that very hall, Fullerton Hall. But the message I was thinking when I was hovering around Chicago, what must have been the stage that time? And how your same great noble son, your brother, must have gone there. And you know the whole story. When he uttered those words, that union of science and religion / spirituality alone will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. दुनिया को सुख समाधान शांति की राह दिखानी हो तो ये रास्ता है. विज्ञान और अध्यात्म का समन्वय मेरा नहीं. We are trying to understand what were the words of wisdom, not knowledge alone. Knowledge is collecting data, information, computer, Google, Facebook, it's okay. But ultimately the aim is to understand the essence and philosophy and finally understand the wisdom behind. That word is most important, and possibly India is the country which has been following in the footsteps of the great noble son of India. But when he says further, that time India was under the clutches of the British. And naturally, we had the pain and agony of that slavery. I'm not blaming anybody. But that time, the great noble son again said, give me a few men with the muscles of iron and nerves of steel, and I'll change the face of Mother India, my Mother India. गर्व नहीं, स्वाभिमान है. ये भी भाषा, भारत इसी भूमि में भारतीय संस्कृति, परंपरा और तत्वज्ञान का चिंतन, धर्म की व्याख्या. What is religion? Religion is nothing but to perform my duty. Duty toward the mother, the father, the family, the society, the nation, and the whole world. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So unique narrations, let me tell you friends. At least I, for one, I feel satisfied. May not be that it's my own creation or own doing, but I have been fortunate. And our whole team of the World Peace University, whatever work has come up, maybe it is little unbelievable. It's not possible to understand why I met Mr. Mashelkar, why I met Mr. Bhatkar, and why I am meeting you people too. It's to join hands together, understand each other. And the very philosophy about the religion is nothing but to perform your duty. क्या करना और क्या करना नहीं चाहिए समझना चाहिए. धर्म की व्याख्या है. Spiritual component of life is not like a ritualistic component. It has a deep meaning which Sant Jnaneshwara says, philosopher Sant Jnaneshwara. Remember, myself and Vijay Bhatkar, we had a thinking about 15 years back that in the whole world history, we have the Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Kant, Hegel, Spinoza, the great philosophers of the world. And you know that the story behind. But why not India? There is no philosopher? How it happens? And we were discussing, myself and Vijay Bhatkar, that whether our son Jnaneshwara was a philosopher or not. Whether Swami Vivekananda was a philosopher or not. And then we had a long discussion, and then he said, who decides who is the philosopher? He said, the rulers, the masters, the samrat. Mevla, then what should we do? So we decided that to call ourselves, and we declared the first golden prize that time, about 15-20 years back, and we said philosophers and Jnaneshwara. But at the same time we said philosopher Dr. Albert Einstein, sent to a scientist. The language is same. It speaks about the truth, the ultimate reality. And when he says these words, let me tell you friends, I have a very happy feeling because I could understand something. Not that I am the master, but I have a feeling of happiness and satisfaction because I could realize, I could understand this essence and philosophy. I think my young teacher, Mr. Jayant Khandare and Deepak Ranade must be sitting here. You know, the Schrodinger, Penrose, Einstein, all these great people have said in the last period of their life that they said all the university heads, the chancellors, vice chancellors, the men of research, innovation, they should start the schools of consciousness and reality. It is their words of advice. And at least as a small attempt, like the MIT School of Consciousness and Reality, has begun. And the world is waiting to understand the meaning of consciousness. Chaitanya Swarup kya hai? Chetana kya hai? What the nature of the universe itself. The laws of the universe doesn't change for me or you separately. It is the same, but universal. बदलाव नहीं है अमेरिका के लिए और मेरे लिए और तुम्हारे और मेरे लिए. जाति पाति पर नहीं है. याति कुळ माझे गेले हरपुणे ऐसा मराठी में संवाद है. उसी का essence and philosophy is the real example, and I have a hope within a few years to come, when we have been talking about making India the Vishwa Guru. कब होगा भाई और कैसे होगा? मैं खुद कहूँ कि बहुत बड़ा आदमी हूँ, अच्छा हूँ. The decency, decorum, dignity and commitment and the sense of discipline in your life for making any cause without any ego or without any feeling of my own greatness. That will show the pathway. And I appeal to all of you and seek the guidance of these great men. Possibly this conference, which has been the first national conference of the scientists of India and some few people from abroad, I think we shall join hands together and let us do something little bit better and contribute something to promote the culture of peace for the well-being of the mankind. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom and showing us the path for future. My friends, now it's time when I'm going to invite and request the chief patron and president of this valedictory function, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, sir, to address the gathering. But before I do that, I request my technical team to kindly relay a film.
Today, we honor a luminary in the world of science, a beacon of innovation and excellence. It is our privilege to introduce Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar. Dr. Raghunath Anant Mashelkar, a visionary scientist and an exemplary leader, has significantly advanced the frontiers of chemical engineering and scientific research. As the former Director General of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, he has been instrumental in propelling India's scientific community onto the global stage. Under his dynamic leadership, CSIR blossomed into a world-renowned research institution, pioneering breakthroughs that have shaped modern science and technology. As a Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, Dr. Mashelkar continues to inspire and mentor the next generation of scientists and engineers, fostering a spirit of innovation and intellectual rigor. Dr. Mashelkar's global influence is further exemplified by his presidency at the Global Research Alliance, where he champions collaborative efforts to address some of the world's most pressing challenges through science and technology. A recipient of Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor, Dr. Mashelkar's contribution to science and society have been recognized and celebrated worldwide. Please join us in welcoming Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, a true pioneer, visionary, and our esteemed special guest of honor at the National Scientists Roundtable Conference.
Thank you very much. Distinguished dais, distinguished participants in this fantastic first National Scientists Roundtable Conference 2024, and ladies and gentlemen. It is very rarely that one has a chance to say the first word and then the last word. You'll remember I began the conference by giving the first talk, and I'm asked to give the last word, so really privileged. I must say that my association with MIT group of institutions has been for over 40 years, long time, right from the time that the seed was blown by visionary Dr. Vishwanath Karad. I remember his coming to me in 1983 because he had this idea of creating polymer engineering as a course. And I remember myself working with him even drafting the syllabus, and we started, and today it has become a world class. But that vision, 40 years ago, to start a course that did not exist in India, that was the speciality. They say, innovator is one who sees what everyone sees, but thinks of what nobody thinks. That was Professor Karad. And then subsequently, of course, I remember somebody telling me, it was Dr. Ashok Ganguly, when I became the Director General of CSIR, I had gone to London. And this was within a couple of weeks. And he said, he calls me Ramesh. He said, Ramesh, have you found your successor? I said, come on, don't be joking. I've taken over as the DG just 2 weeks ago. All right? And he said, you will be judged not by what you do, but how you find your successor and what he does. And I must say, Rahul Karad, you have been a fantastic successor. Both Rahul and Mangesh have laid these institutions. And I must give credit to Rahul for even conceptualizing this particular idea. Many of you were not there when I spoke, because I see a different audience here than when we began. I think the airlines and other things had created a problem. But I mentioned at that point in time that there was this prestigious Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. When I got it, it was 20,000. When I became DG, it became 2 lakh, and my successor raised it to 5 lakh. Today, that money component of Bhatnagar Award has been taken away. And he said, let us create an alternative. And he created a 5 lakh award from this. I'm mentioning this because we normally consider it a government job, industry job, like Infosys Science Award. I just had a lunch with Narayan Murthy, and he was telling me about how he created a 50 lakh award for Infosys Science. But a private educational and research institution creating it is something new. So my hats off to Rahul for your vision and for doing what you are doing and the future. There are only 3-4 points I want to make. There are lots of young people here, and you will be looking at role models. There is one role model that is sitting right here, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar. I say this for a simple reason. It is not the Param supercomputer that he did, okay, or the series of Param supercomputers that he did. It is the spirit behind it. It is the yes I can, yes I will spirit behind it. And that's the spirit all of you have to involve. Yesterday I was in Bal Gandharva when he was felicitated by giving him the Punya Bhushan Award. Yeah, right. Punya Bhushan Award doesn't have the same status as the Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan that he has already received. But as I said, this is being given by city of Pune. घरच्यांनी दिलेला हा आविष्कार आहे आणि म्हणून तो महत्त्वाचा आहे. Now there I mentioned about, and I want to repeat that because you must understand that. You know, where it all began, I remember there was this Science Advisory Committee to the Prime Minister under Rajiv Gandhi. He had created that. And I remember in early days he asked, we are a poor country, but there must be something special about us. Now, what is it? And Rotam Narasimha had said at that time, we are good at this. So he said, what do we do with it? And then he talked about high performance supercomputers with parallel processing architecture. And I remember his strategy was that you should start where everybody at the same level, okay? Rather than starting at a level where somebody is way ahead and all of us were at the same level. And Dr. Bhatkar was entrusted with $10 million in 3 years Okay? And he finished the project, the Param 8000, with less than $10 million and less than 3 years. That rarely happens in government. So the first principle is being within budget, being ahead of time. That's one thing you can learn from it. The second is, yesterday he said, when they asked me to do a supercomputer, all that I had seen was a picture of a supercomputer. I didn't know what else could be done. But he had the confidence to do that. All right? And that matters, you know. Secondly, aspirations are your possibilities. You have to keep them high. And he kept them high, that yes, I can, and yes, I will. But the other important point that people do not recognize is the following, that technology will not simply come to you because you have dollars or you want it. People will not give it to you. Okay? We wanted supercomputers because weather prediction is very important for us. We are agriculture dependent country. But United States of America felt that we might use it for nuclear weapons and so on and so forth. Okay? And that's why we were denied. So this is called denial-driven innovation. You go to somebody, ask for a technology, and he denies it. What Vijay showed was that, yes, thank you very much. You can deny it. We'll do it on our own. Don't worry. And that's what he did, actually. That's the first thing. The second thing is Dr. Kalam always used to say, strength respects strength. You can extend your hand and say, shake hand. They will look at what is the power in your muscles, what is the strength in your muscles, and they will shake hand. So this is a classic story, by the way, India's story. Today we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, but he did Atmanirbhar Bharat with Atmavishwas, self-confidence. Okay? And we had gone to, we wanted a Cray supercomputer, which they had denied us. And I remember in 1998, when Param 10,000 came out, actually, that was the time the same company, Cray supercomputer, which was denied, US government allowed Cray supercomputers to set up shop here in India. They took back steps. Each step he has taken, US kept on taking a back step. In fact, in my book, Reinventing India, I have talked, there's a full chapter on what he was able to do. So ladies and gentlemen, my young friends in particular, while we are having this valedictory address, we are very, very, very lucky to have one and only Dr. Vijay Bhatkar here. The spirit, not the supercomputer. That's the first point I wanted to make. The second point I wanted to make was how important technology and science is going to be for India. You can see that. All of you know what happened to the Microsoft outage? All of you know? It's a complete disaster. Okay? Now people are trying to find out why it happened. And there are first insights that are coming in. And that insight is that there was this sensor configuration update that was being done. And therefore there was some software update that was being done, and the logic went awry at that point in time. And therefore the systems crashed. Now we call death, right? Like COVID. COVID took quite a bit of time before it spread around the world, and large number of deaths took place, okay, over several months. This death, that is called a blue screen death, all right? This particular phenomenon is blue screen death because all that you see is a screen, there is nothing else on that, took place in minutes. Technology, okay? What does it tell you? It tells you the importance of technology, all right? And unless India develops its own strength in science and technology, all right, we can't survive. Like COVID, when it came, we did not know what the virus was. We did not have diagnostics. We did not have therapeutics. We did not have vaccines. And within 12 to 18 months, not only did we develop those diagnoses, etc., we started exporting them to the rest of the world. So therefore, when people say 2020 was the year of pandemic, I said wrong. 2020 was the year of Indian science. Please understand that. Okay? So that is our strength. And that is why, Rahul, what you have done, the first National Scientist Roundtable Conference is so important. I want to emphasize that. Because the COVIDs or the Microsoft outages, etc., will keep on coming. That is not the first one. And it is only our science and technology which will make us resilient. So I want to doubly impress on you your mind. I'm very sorry that I could not attend yesterday's proceedings. I'm doing too many things at the same time. Even in the opening address I gave and vanished to attend a board meeting. And yesterday also there were so many engagements, including the Punya Bhushan Award. But I've got splendid reports in terms of the quality of presentations, the kind of discussions that were held, and some of them really overrunning the time because there was so much of enthusiasm, and I'm very, very delighted. Because how do you judge the success of the conference? You judge the success of the conference by what you take back. Please understand, it is not the claps and sound and the rest of it, okay? And the number of new ideas, new directions, new dimensions, new enthusiasm, new energy that you take back is very, very important. And we are all going back with a great deal of new energy. So my personal congratulations. I don't want to mention name, but there is a huge team here which has sort of worked, and I have harassed them quite a lot. They would tell you how many times I had to send them back in order to come back. And finally, we worked out the program, right from artificial intelligence to finally science and spirituality. As you can see, it was all cutting-edge science, cutting-edge technology, disruptive, game-changing, not incremental, and where we have to position ourselves. So that is wonderful. The only last point I want to make is that we are talking about Viksit Bharat. I think we should do some reality check also. Professor Vishwanath Karad always uses the word Vishwaguru. I love that word because that should be our aspiration. But Professor Karad, I got up in the morning and read something which I will just put before you. The amount of money that is spent by the students who leave the country not for jobs but for education. Can you imagine that it is more than the higher education budget of India? And I will give you the numbers. The students who leave are 11,33,749. And the amount spent is $30 billion a year, which is more than the higher education. I think we have to do some reality checks. What do we do for this now? We require more institutions, but higher quality institutions. And there are ways of doing it. I remember there are 16 Mashelkar committees that were created. The first one was converting regional engineering colleges to National Institute of Technology. And I remember writing in my own hands that some of these RECs will become better than IITs. And they are. If you look at the top 10 list now, some of those NITs are figuring in there. We created ICERs. I remember making a presentation to Dr. Manmohan Singh that in 2008 we will celebrate 100 years of Indian Institute of Science. But sir, it is not you. We have created it, but it is Tata Institute of Science. And even a rickshawala knows Tata Institute of Science, not Indian Institute of Science. And then the idea of ICERs came up. And then we have splendid sort of ICERs, and they are expanding. On the other day, I was in ICER Tirupati, for example. And of course, we have the director of ICER Pune here, which is one of the finest now, and so on. Similarly, new central universities, their expansion. But that expansion is far more than what we have today. And that expansion has to be not only in terms of quantity, but quality. all right? Because none of the universities appear in top 100 or even top 200. I think this is a fact of the matter. So how do we enhance that? That is one reality check we have to have. Secondly, we talk about Viksit Bharat. We don't talk about Viksit India. And there is a difference between India and Bharat. Look at India at 75 and Bharat at 75. Okay? I've told this story, but I'm sorry, Rahul, I can't express it better than this, so I will repeat it. Some of you have heard it. During COVID, my friend, brought his grandson to me. His name was Ved Gujar, and he said, we have a problem with this child. He was 8-year-old. Huh? So what is the problem? He said he knows everything. I said, come, sit down. What is your favorite subject? He said, all subjects, 8-year-old. Then I said, but still, let's focus on biology because it was COVID time. I said, what is the difference between bacteria and virus? 10 out of 10. Then I said, I raised the bar. I said, what is mutation? 10 out of 10. Then I raised the bar. I said, spike protein. What is spike protein? Not 10 out of, but 8 out of 10. Then we went to DNA. And I had on my iPad there, I have a photograph of my having a breakfast with Watson. You know, James Watson, who had won the Nobel Prize for elucidating the structure of DNA. You know, he couldn't recognize him. I said, Watson, immediately, Watson and Crick. And then he also mentioned about a third scientist, woman scientist who should have got it. 8-year-old. Then I said, my God, you know so much about Nobel Prizes. So who is the one who has won 2 Nobel Prizes? Immediately, Madame Curie, which year and for what? And then I said, no, Linus Pauling also got 2. He said, no, sir, you asked me about science. His first was science, second was peace, 8-year-old. Then I asked his grandfather, I said, you are not a scientist, your son is not a scientist, how come? He said, Google. We gave him Google, access to Google. Google is his guru. And of course, I told his father that, look, he's using Google as his guru, but using his brain as a storage. He has to use it as an intelligent processor. And for that, you require guru. That's a different matter. But in the same week, the contrast, this way belongs to India at 75, right? Access to Google. But in the same week, we got a news that a 15-year-old girl had committed suicide. Why? Because she could not attend online exam. Why? Because her parents were so poor, they could not afford a smartphone. So here, Ved in India at 75 flying, and that Shraddha Pol, 15-year-old girl is dying because she belongs to Bharat at 75. So ladies and gentlemen, particularly the scientific community, we have to look for science for Bharat at 75. Inequalities are rising. How do you get access equality despite income inequality? How do you make high technology work for the poor? That kind of a science we can't neglect, because there's no point in talking about Viksit Bharat if we are going to remain sort of what we are. I hope these are the challenges that you like to take. Just now, Vijay called me a dangerous optimist. Yes, I am a dangerous optimist. I am dangerously optimistic for a simple reason. And the reason is the following. If you look at growth of different countries at different time, it appeared because of different reasons. For example, US, it was roads and railways. Okay? For Britain, it was textiles. For Sweden, it was timber and timber products. For Denmark, it was milk and milk products. For Middle East, it was oil. And what is the oil for India? It is Indian talent, all of you. Okay? And that is why it is on the basis of that talent that we can dream of the Viksit Bharat. But that talent, as I told you, has to be trusted. It has to be given an opportunity, not in the US, but right here. You know, we are land of ideas. US can't be the land of opportunity. we have to give these opportunities. And I'm seeing lots of sort of schemes and proposals and plans by the government to sort of make that happen. So, Viksit Bharat 2047, we are well on our way. What it requires is the spirit that is called Dr. Vijay Bhatkar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for giving us that vision for Viksit Bharat 2024. And I'm sure, as per the guidance that you have given us, the National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2047 will ensure that we have the Viksit Bharat. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Once again, a big round of applause for all the dignitaries and stalwarts on stage. And now, before I conclude this session, I'm going to request and invite the person who saw the dream of National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2024 and made it a reality, the Managing Trustee of Myers and Executive President of Myers MIT-WPU University, the Chief Initiator of MIT School of Government and founder of National Legislators Conference Bharat, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, National Teachers Congress, National Women's Parliament, Sarpanch Sansad, and now National Scientist Roundtable Conference. Please put your hands together and welcome Shri Rahul V. Karad for the concluding remarks and the vision forward.
Janani Janmabhumisha Swargadapi Gariyasi. First of all, let me pay my respect to Padma Vibhushan Raghunath Mashelkar sir for his motivation, not just to me, but all my fellow colleagues from academia here. And of course, Dr. Bhatkar, who happens to be a very close friend of my father, and both these important leaders. In the last 4 decades, my friends, you all know Dr. Mashelkar is guiding this institution. He must have visited maybe 400 or 500 times in so many years, and I don't know how many hours of contribution. So I want to tell you, sir, that this vision, what little you praise me, I'm like your son, and you have always nurtured me and all my other team members. So that vision culmination is because of you, your blessings. And Bhatkar sir, eventually you joined this organization and my father. So on behalf of all my colleagues here, I think I want to just once again express my gratitude for your contribution. It is not my idea, but this is continuous conversation. Mashelkar sir, the challenge to the society, challenge to the country. Yesterday in my inaugural speech also I said, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi giving the challenge to Mr. Professor Bhatkar sir, that is there a man who can really come up and the parallel computing, supercomputing when America denied us, and he said, yes, I'm here. So likewise, these things, and today also in many things, I think we are dependent, you all respected scientists, you all are aware that what are the challenges in front of our country. Yesterday, students, they little video bite they have taken. So in that also I said that because of the technology transfer, the world has come close. The business development is happening beautifully. No problem, the road, infrastructure, various such other activities are happening, and we are quite satisfied, my friends. But still, I always feel that the fundamental sciences, the research, the invention quotient, how do we develop a scientific temple? Last 5-10 years, whatever your speeches, Mashelkar sir, Bhatkar sir, we have been hearing, and other, wherever the exposure of the worldwide, wherever I'm going. So I feel that this independence of our country, yes, 75 years of independence is important milestone, the Amrit Kal. But we truly have to be independent, my dear friend, in all sense, I mean to say. And the academic institution, which are the growth engines, Yadav sir, aapne bahut acha yesterday, the growth engines of our country, the education institutions. And very important points, Dr. Bhatkar sir, you said about the public and private today. This I have said before also once, twice, and I get a pain. I'm sure there are many IITs, and the most, such a great pride, wherever any part of the world we go, we feel very proud feeling. We are from India. They say, oh yes, IITs, and majority of the professors, some 10-20% profs are in various institutions. They are serving. Professor Gore is here. who happens to be a classmate of my father. Rather, my father taught him long back, our revered founder, Dr. Karad, applied thermodynamics. And many such people are there. So, but still, I feel somewhere today about the 500 private universities, Professor Bhatkar sir, you mentioned. Can we develop some models? I'm talking about the solutions, and last 2 years I have been chasing the HRD ministry also for this mechanism. Top 150, suppose, private NIRF ranking institutions like us, the VIT, MIT-WPU University, and for that matter, many such institutions. यहाँ पे ISER के director sir, आप भी बैठे हुए, madam, you are also from the government. So I'm just trying to appeal all these government institutions, very important scientists, that can we develop can there be some academic partnership? I have observed many a times, because the IIT people and even IIMs people, they look down. Private संस्थाओं वाले यानी ये थोड़े से, ये एक majority, मतलब मुझे नम्रतापूर्वक कोई मैं आपके हृदय तक पहुंचना चाहता हूं, and I'm taking this opportunity and with lot of emotions this conference, Dr. Mashelkar sir ने इसके बारे में बोला, ये पहली नेशनल साइंस राउंड टेबल साइंटिस्ट की कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है और साइंटिस्ट कॉन्फ्रेंस, और मुझे लगता है कि पूरे भारत के प्राइवेट संस्थानों की शक्ति है कि इस तरीके के अलग अलग कॉर्नर्स में बहुत बड़े खाली शास्त्रज्ञों के ही ऐसे इस तरीके के कन्वेंशंस, अलग अलग ट्रैक्स लेके उसकी सिस्टम क्या बनानी, आई थिंक मेटिकुलसली Dr. Mashelkar sir, you have conducted so many meetings with my fellow colleagues, later with Dr. Bhatkar also, GD Yadav sir, आप सब लोगों ने इसमें बहुत contribution किया, बहुत अच्छे से, और एक public private partnership का एक बहुत अच्छा नमूना यहाँ पे ये conference के माध्यम से मुझे लगता है कि भारत के सामने यहाँ पे a very robust platform can evolve in the days to come. So with that feeling, मैं मेरी भावना यहाँ व्यक्त करता हूँ कि ऐसे कुछ models, IIT, IIMs, ISC Bangalore, all these institutions, I will not say they are adopting us, but some academic, and that's how the standard of our institutions can really elevate. You can imagine, itne sare private institutions. So hame, and it is already working quite well. I mean to say, many IIT profs and other people, they are coming forward. They are, but still there is some reservation. I took some 40 faculty members, the Indian origin presidents of American universities who are serving in United States, 25 presidents of American universities who are originally from India. They and some 40 professors from IIT, senior researchers. Just 2 years back, me, Dr. Chitnis and Professor Khandekar, we all traveled all the way to Washington, DC, and we conducted one conference there. So many such efforts, my dear friends, we are conducting, and I think through such engagements, a great co-creation can happen. And this leadership of our country, the scientific temper development can truly happen. That is my whole message I want to give. Lastly, I want to just say, Mr. Kale, just you can stand once again and wave the hand. You have taken a great effort. Professor Chowli is our Dean for Research. I want to thank Professor Chowli. We all are this thing. I want to say, Professor Kamtekar, you have worked very hard. So thank you, Professor Kamtekar. I also want to, because these are the people who are chasing. Trust me, it was a big surprise. Mashelkar sir, तुम्ही आज येताय म्हणलं की आम्ही सगळे पळत आलो. म्हणजे भटकर सर कालच पुण्यभूषण अवॉर्डचं सेरेमनी हे झाला. सरांचं कौतुक झालं. I think we all have given a great honor to Bhatkar sir. I think City of Pune घरचा हा अवॉर्ड तुम्हाला मिळाला. मी तुमच्या पुढे नम्रपणाने मी तुमचं सुद्धा इथं स्वागत अभिनंदन करतो. So Professor Pandey, Professor Pandey is a driving here, So people must know that there is quite a people they have worked here in the system, so but lot of hardship. मी GD यादव सर म्हणजे हे ड्रायव्हिंग सीटमध्ये ही मंडळी होती सगळी. मी कणभर मी काही काम करू शकलो, पण नॅव्हिगेशनमध्ये माशेलकर सर, तुम्ही, भटकर सर आणि GD यादव सर, तुम्ही माशेलकर सरांच्या को क्रिएशनमधनं हे सगळं जे काही वॉट एव्हर दिस हॅज इवॉल्ड, आय थिंक ब्युटिफुली इट हॅज इवॉल्ड. Lastly, I want to say, Mr. Ashok Joshi sir, please stand. I think he has taken, trust me, from Washington, he has 150 patents. And I'm sure we all are highly satisfied with this conference. I mean, the first conference, there are some lacunas, some SWOT analysis, and immediately they are going to have a debriefing tomorrow. And some nervousness is there amongst you guys with some those the weaknesses, but I think we can build up positively. But he has 150 patents, and he's a dear friend of our founder, Dr. Karad sir. He's a classmate of Dr. Karad sir, and they are friends from so many years. So thank you, Ashok Joshi ji, for pursuing, very relentlessly he pursued this, that we have to do something. And this thank you. Thank you. So once again, madam, आपका भी सुनील भार्गव साहब, मैं आपका भी यहाँ पे स्वागत अभिनंदन करता हूँ. And Sujata ji, thank you. I hope this voice, through you guys, we can take it to the government, and some delegation of some of the top leaders, we can really chase. And IITs and IIMs can play a great role, my dear friends, and we all feel very, it's a great proud feeling. So Dr. Chitnis, our Vice Chancellor, is sitting politely. Just give a round of applause to him also. Thank you, Dr. Chitnis. Thank you. All the media, students, and very systematically, we have 800 faculties, madam. We wrote all the faculties, and 100 faculties registered. We want to work in the research track. And all 20,000 students, we wrote a letter, and in that some 600-700 students, they said, we want to make our career in research. And that's how only those chosen, because that campus, I don't know whether you guys have come, but I will request someday you please visit, sir. It's a huge campus, 22,000 students in one campus. And all of them we requested, and these chosen students and chosen faculties who wish to dedicate their life for the research, so they all have come. And I imagine that through this idea, so many good things can happen across the country, 500 colleges. We have established the Private University Association, also called Confederation of Private Universities. So these machines, the growth engines, Yadav sir, so we want to work, and every month I appeal, I'm taking opportunity on the dais in this ceremony that monthly, sir, tumsa vel far mahatvacha. Monthly one meeting we will have very systematically, and 2 months we will bother Mashelkar sir also, ki we have to take this, so that next year this conference truly take the national stage, and we have to, government must bless this important idea, and that's how we can take globally this very message of first National Scientist Conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And indeed, no conference can be complete without we publish the outcome of the conference. And I would like to request all the dignitaries on the dais to please join us as we publish the compendium of this particular conference. I request my team to hand over the books on stage kindly. And I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please give us a photograph. I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly come on stage as the book of abstracts of this conference is being unveiled at the hands of all the dignitaries on the dais. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Murthy sir, to kindly come on stage. Let's give a big round of applause, my friends. As we leave this conference, let us carry with us the spirit of inquiry, collaboration, and determination to push the boundaries of knowledge. Together, we can make significant strides in science, technology, contributing to a brighter and more prosperous future. I request everyone in the audience to please rise in your seats. We are going to conclude this conference by saluting our nation with national anthem. I request everyone to please rise in your seats. I request my technical team to kindly relay. Bharat Mata ki. Thank you very much, all the dignitaries on the dais, everyone in the audience. Thank you very much for being part of the first National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2024. See you all back in the second National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2025. Thank you very much.
चहा कॉफी ठेवली आहे तिथे आपल्या व्हिडिओ रूम मध्ये जाय हो गाली घेतो हे बॅग मध्ये टाकून दे हो सर जोशी सर इकड नाही या यादव सर